What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here to cast my official 2020 Pro Bowl ballot. These are the guys that I believe should be making the Pro Bowl in 2020, the best players across the NFL at every position from this season. Before I give you my Pro Bowl team for 2020, make sure you do Gronk spike that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to The Bottom Line View for more NFL videos just like this. Let's waste no time. We have to get through every position in the NFL. Let's get straight to the votes, shall we? Remember, guys, the Pro Bowl is kind of important. I think it's kind of important. Why is it kind of important? Because 20 years from now, when your little kid is watching football from 2020, he's going to look at Pro Football Reference and he's going to say, who was voted into the Pro Bowl? So yes, this does matter. And yes, it does matter for the Hall of Fame. So I do take this stuff seriously a little bit. So let's take a look first at the quarterback position. I'm going to try to fly through this so that we're not here for an entire hour. But I might get caught up on a couple of positions because I know it can be difficult. So what NFL.com did do here in a couple of spots was list by yards or list by one of the main statistics. Offensively, yards, I believe, defensive linemen, sacks, DBs, interceptions. So they listed it easily for casual NFL fans by stats. But we know that here on the Bottom Line View, I have my takes. I don't listen to the stats, all right? So let's give our first vote to Patrick Mahomes because he deserves it. He's the best quarterback in football. He is probably the leading MVP candidate right now, and there is not much else that needs to be said. Now, interestingly, Tom Brady is actually second in the NFL in yards, but I do not think I'm going to be voting for Sir Tom here in this video because I don't think he has been one of the 6 best quarterbacks in football this year. He's probably somewhere around the top 12, top 10, but top 6, he's been too shaky in big moments for me to give him that vote. So even though he's Tom Brady, he's the GOAT, I'm not going to vote him into my Pro Bowl because that's not how this works for me, all right? Russell Wilson was the MVP of football for, I don't know, like a good 4 to 6 weeks-ish, maybe even more than that, maybe even up to half a season. So Russell Wilson certainly belongs as the second best quarterback in football, in my opinion. Deshaun Watson, the true, real MVP. That's what I call him. Deshaun, baby. Put him in the Pro Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, I think, deserves a vote as well. So that's 4 of 6 votes. Aaron Rodgers is also 33 touchdowns, 4 picks. He is maintaining his supremacy as a touchdown to interception mastermind. And Aaron Rodgers has been, I believe, better this year than he was last year. He has been maintaining the low interceptions, low turnovers, while also this year being able to hit the big explosive play, which is something that's been missing from his game the last couple of seasons. Josh Allen is going to be my 5th vote because Josh Allen is the only quarterback in the NFL with 20 passing touchdowns and over 5 rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen offers it with his big arm and his legs to be able to run the football and pass the football effectively. He has probably the strongest arm in all of football, makes some spectacular plays, and is the reason the Bills are one of the top teams in the NFL this season. Now, I have one more vote for the quarterback position. There are a number of guys I could go with, including Tom, who we discussed. I think Ben being on an undefeated team definitely is in that conversation. Ryan Tannehill, 23 touchdowns, 4 picks has been really good. Derek Carr has been pretty good. But I think I am going to go with Kyler Murray. I don't think his numbers passing-wise are as good as some of the other candidates here. But what Kyler has been able to do as a runner this season has been electric. He has been special as a runner, truly special, and that's why he will gain my vote. I do believe those are the 6 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. The running back position. Now, this position has taken a hit in terms of some injuries, and this is a position that I believe there's true clear-cut top-tier guys this year, and that's the top 2 in yards. Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook. Derrick Henry leading the way with 1,257 yards, just an absolute monster. He is still running people over, running by people, and he is the identity of the Tennessee Titans. Dalvin Cook, to me, is the most valuable running back in the NFL. We see when the Vikings do not have Dalvin Cook, that when he is not there, they are a different team. They are a different offense. Usually, I'm a person to say running backs don't matter, but in the case of the Vikings, Dalvin Cook does matter. He gets my second vote. Now, when we go across the line here, I think Nick Chubb definitely deserves a vote. I know that he was hurt for a good portion of time, and actually Kareem Hunt took over fairly well, but we see a difference between the Browns when Chubb is there and when Chubb is not there. Chubb is probably right now, at least this year, the best breakaway runner in the league, and to me might be the best pure runner in the league with his ability to hit explosive runs as well as just continuously with quick feet, good vision. He does not mess around, man. He is a beast on the run game. If he could add a little bit in the receiving game, he would probably take his game to the next level. Josh Jacobs, Robinson, I think also deserve to be in the conversation, so we'll wait on them for a second here. I do believe that Alvin Kamara will get my next vote. I think some people would argue that Alvin Kamara is the best running back in the game for his versatility as a receiver and a runner, and I would not argue that. I actually think Miles Sanders could get a vote here. Aaron Jones could get a vote here. I don't like the second row from Drake to Gibson to Connor. I don't see any of those guys being in my Pro Bowl. That includes Zeke. Damian Harris has been really good since he took over for New England as the starter, but he hasn't been the starter all year. If he would have been, he probably would be like top 5 in rushing yards, but that's not how these things work. That's about it, I think, for the running back position. We have 2 more votes. I think my final votes will go to Josh Jacobs, who I think is very important to what the Raiders do. I've heard countless coaches call him arguably the best running back in football. He is a grinder. He has good vision, great power. He can catch the football, and essential to one of the best offenses in football. And my final vote, this is tough. Do I go with Robinson? I think Ronald Jones has had a good year. If Ronald Jones was allowed to be the starter full time, man, he would get my vote, but that hasn't been the case. I am going to give my final vote to Robinson. I get it. He's relatively unknown. He's on Jacksonville, but hey, man, he's an undrafted rookie. You got to give the kid credit. And on Jacksonville to have nearly 900 yards, that's pretty impressive. Jacksonville's often losing, often trailing, and that does not really help running backs statistically. But he's still up there, and he's a good story. So why not? Give him a vote. The wide receiver position is going to be probably one of the hardest because it's one of the most stacked, probably the most stacked position in all of football. But it's clear at the top who's going to get in. DK Metcalf, man, absolutely studly, okay? He has not been covered one-on-one all year. It doesn't matter who's covering him. You need to treat him as a double every play. He is a monster. He takes over games with his size and his speed, his deep ball ability, his yak ability. He has been Russell Wilson's go-to guy all year and has truly broken out as one of the biggest playmakers in all of football. Tyreek Hill, I've said it, I'll say it again. Best receiver in football. I don't care what you say. The guy is the best weapon in the NFL. 13 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards. His stats speak for themselves. DeAndre Hopkins has proven to me, moving from the Texans with Deshaun Watson to the Cardinals with Kyler, that's impressive, especially without an offseason. That's something that not a lot of receivers can do at that level. So Hopkins, he's in. I am going to say Stephon Diggs is going to get my next vote. Stephon Diggs has really elevated the game of Josh Allen. And for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to give Stephon Diggs a vote. He's also extremely well-rounded, has ability to beat you deep, great route runner, good underneath. So he is a guy that I like for his well-rounded game. Terry McLaurin, because he doesn't have any help, is going to get a vote. He deserves recognition as a top 10 receiver in the NFL. Just like Diggs, he's actually similar to Diggs. Good with yak, good over the top, good underneath. He might actually end up being better than Diggs, but he doesn't have a quarterback right now, and he's still finding a way to be in the top 5 in receiving yards. DJ Moore surprises me that he has that many yards. Robbie Anderson had a good start. Keenan Allen might deserve a vote here. Amari Cooper without Dak has struggled somewhat. Justin Jefferson has been the best rookie, in my opinion, at the wide receiver position. I love Allen Robinson, man. This receiver position is loaded. Of course, Julio I haven't even brought up yet. He's been hurt, so I'm not going to give him my vote. Adam Thielen, Chase Claypool as a rookie. Mike Evans not getting a vote from me this year. Man, this is tough. Chris Godwin not getting a vote. All these guys are really good, don't get me wrong, but I think I need to give the vote to Davante Adams. I think some people would say Davante Adams is the best receiver in all of football this year. I don't believe that to be true, but I certainly believe he is the best route runner in the league. He has probably the best connection with any receiver and quarterback in the game with him and Rodgers. They are nearly unstoppable when they're on the same page. He's a great red zone weapon. He moves the chains consistently for that offense. And when he plays, man, he's pretty much unstoppable. So those are the best receivers this year, in my opinion, in the NFL, and those are the guys that are going to head to the Pro Bowl. Now, fullback, bro, I'm not going to spend that much time here. 6 votes, I'm going to give 3, because I don't know if there's more than 3 fullbacks that I think deserve a vote. Okay, Kyle Juszczyk, he's in, obviously, best fullback by a country mile. Then we have Ham, who I think is essential to what they do offensively in Minnesota, plays a lot of snaps. He's big in those I formations, those 2-back sets. He's huge for them. Now, I don't see Jakob Johnson for the Patriots. I think that's a crime because he's essential to what they do in New England. He has been a solid fullback for them. He just plays a lot. Here's the thing with fullbacks. Fullbacks don't play a lot in the NFL, in today's NFL, and the ones that do are probably pretty good and probably pretty essential to their teams, and that's the way I look at voting this position. And the last guy I'll give a vote to is Janovich. I think the same thing with Ham here. The Vikings, the Browns, they run that Stefanski, Kubiak, Shanahan, tree zone scheme, and they love to run the rock, and the Browns have a winning record because they've ran the rock, and Janovich has been part of that. So I'll say that he deserves the vote. My 3 fullback votes. Now to the tight end position. Obviously, George Kittle is not going to get a vote here, so that's one elite tight end that is not going to get a vote. Travis Kelce, certainly, that's obvious. 978 yards. Are you kidding me? 978 yards, bro? Look at the next guy. 542? Travis Kelce, man. He has been unbelievable. Historic this season. Darren Waller is going to get my second vote. He probably would have 978 yards if he was on the Chiefs. He's that good. People underrate Darren Waller for his athletic ability and just his ability, plain and simple. TJ Hawkinson, I will agree. Okay, at the top of the list in yards, but he's been good. Good enough in a weak year for tight ends to get my vote. I am going to give Gronk a vote because I think Gronk's all-around nature of still being arguably the best blocker at the position, still being a pretty good weapon in the red zone. He's played a lot better over the last 6 games. He's come up in big spots with big games and big catches. So I'm going to give Gronk a big-time vote there. Impressive comeback for him. Hunter Henry might get a vote. He might very well get a vote. I am not giving Mark Andrews a vote this year. I don't care what you tell me. Evan Ingram drops too many passes. So does Eric Ebron. I'm going to give Jonnu Smith a vote. He has 7 touchdowns this year on the season. That's tied with Travis Kelce for most of the tight end position. Pretty impressive if you ask me. And my final vote is going to go to Hunter Henry. I like his all-around game. I think he's a good route runner, a good receiver, solid hands, has helped his young Justin Herbert, rookie quarterback in LA, and I do think he's underrated. So those 6 are going to be the top 6 tight ends for me heading to the Pro Bowl. Obviously, no George Kittle. The tackle position's a little bit differently. I might have to think about this position a little bit more because it's tight. Obviously, there's no real statistics that you can lean into here. I think my first vote right off the top, David Bakhtiari. He is so important to protecting the blind side of Aaron Rodgers. He's probably the best pass blocker in the NFL. I'm going to give Garrett Bowles a shout. Okay, Garrett Bowles has been the number 1 tackle for PFF this season. He has graded extremely well. And yeah, the offense hasn't been great, but when you have a guy like this who's had a breakout season, you got to give him the respect where respect is earned. I think Armstead has certainly been here before, but I'm not sure that he deserves to be there. Becton has been unbelievable for a rookie, so he might gain a vote. I'm looking at the second and the third line. I don't see anybody that I love here. Fourth, I don't really see anybody there. Fifth, Lane Johnson, maybe, maybe not. He's been up and down. He's always hurt too, so that kind of throws me off. McGlinchey's solid. Oh, buddy. We're going with the Rook, baby. We're going with a Patriot here. This has been the steal of the 2020 NFL Draft, and nobody has talked about it. Nobody has talked about getting a Pro Bowl tackle / guard / center / everything on the offensive line in the 6th round. Nobody. That's a vote. Ryan Ramczyk's a vote. The Saints still have arguably the best offensive line in football, and Ramczyk is the best player on that line, so he gains a vote from me. Who else we have here? Tunzel could get a vote. How many votes we have left? We have 2 votes left. I love Tunzel. I think that he's done a great job to help Deshaun Watson out. I think Trent Williams deserves a vote, though. He is maybe arguably still the best tackle in football with his well-rounded game of a run blocker, pass blocker. Him being back in a Shanahan offense has really helped him get back to that elite level. And the final vote, I'm deciding between Tristan Wirfs of the Bucs and Laramie Tunzel of the Texans. Wirfs has been incredible as a rookie. I think I'm going to go with him. Reason being is because I'm just so impressed with how he's protected Tom this year, and I'm so impressed with his veteran capabilities as a lineman, his football intelligence as a first-year pro. He is going to be special, I do believe. So those are my Pro Bowl votes at the tackle position. One of the more loaded positions in the league. Guard is the same. Guard is pretty stacked as well. Offensive lines, man, I'm telling you. Offensive lines a couple years ago weren't so good. This year, there's a reason why the NFL is such a high-scoring league, because they're protecting their quarterbacks this year. Who do I go with at the guard position? I am going to give my first vote to the first guy that stands out to me is Ali Marpet of the Bucs. We just talked about another Buck in Tristan Wirfs. Ali Marpet is arguably the best lineman. I'm not even going to say arguably. He is the best lineman on the Bucs. He is awesome in the run game and the pass game. Zach Martin is probably the best guard in football right now, and that is over Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson hasn't been quite as good as last year, but he's still good enough to get a vote from me. Shaq Mason, his power, his ability in the run game to move and overpower people, that's been huge for the Patriots run game, so he's going to get a vote. We have a couple votes remaining here. Joe Thuney, again, could also get a vote from New England, but I'm not sure I want to double down on Patriots here at the same position. Wyatt Teller has had a breakout season, so I'm going to give him a vote, as well as the fact that Cleveland needs representation on this offensive line, because Cleveland has a really, really good run-blocking offensive line, pass-blocking offensive line, and that offensive line is the heart and soul of that offense and that team, so he's going to get a vote from me. And my final vote is going to go to Scherf here. I think Washington, the football team, they deserve another Pro Bowler. I think you could go with a number of other guys in this spot, but he's been good for so long, and again, good this year. Washington is kind of competing right now for that division. I know I voted for Terry McLaurin, who I believe deserves it, but hey, man, Washington football team, baby. The center position. We have 6 votes remaining. David Andrews is going to get 1. Just an absolute pro's pro. One of the best leaders in the game on the offensive line. He's been big for the Patriots. And just like the Browns, just like the other teams that I talk about on the offensive line, the ones that offensive line is the heart and soul of their team, those are the players I'm going to vote for more often than not. Speaking of that, I believe that to be so with the Raiders. I think Hudson is probably the best center in the league right now, especially pass blocking wise, where he is absolutely awesome. And then you continue Lindsley, Jensen, Mack, Kelsey, Kelly, all of these guys could get a vote here. The bottom line, I don't really see anybody. Maybe Treader, possibly McCoy. I'm going to go with Mitch Morse. I think Mitch Morse is probably one of the more underrated centers in the game. He's really, really good. Probably gone under the radar because Diggs is there, John Brown, Cole Beasley, Josh Allen. Nobody talks about Mitch Morse, but he's really good. Jason Kelsey is still great, so I'm going to give him a vote for his longevity and his excellence. What else do we have here? We have 2 more votes. Lindsley might be the guy, bro. Lindsley might be the guy. I'm going to say Lindsley is one of the guys. Alex Mack hasn't been as good this year, so I'm going to leave him out of the conversation. Kelly is good. Who's our final vote for the center position? Ragnow is good too. I'm going to say Treader. You know what? The Browns offensive line, man, people don't know. But if you don't know, now you know. All right, the defensive side of the football. Let's go to defensive end. 6 votes once again at each position on defense. Obviously, Myles Garrett, because if I don't vote for him, he's going to smash me with his helmet. So I have to vote for him. But seriously, Myles Garrett is probably the best edge player in the NFL right now in terms of pure pass rushing ability, just off the charts. Hendrickson could get a vote for me. I realize he's tied in the league lead in sacks, so that does mean something to a lot of other people where he's going to get a lot of votes. I'm still not sure he is the heart and soul of that defensive line, though. I think Joey Bosa deserves my second vote. He is dominant as a run defender and as a pass rusher. I think Brandon Graham deserves a vote. I think Brandon Graham has been really good this year. Brandon Graham, I know that the Eagles kind of suck, but the defensive line is still good. They're still great versus the run. Brandon Graham is versatile. He plays outside. He plays inside. He's getting up there in age, but man, he's still playing excellent. Stephon Tuitt, he's going to get a vote from me. He overpowers people week in, week out. He's a huge piece of that really good Pittsburgh front seven and defense. I think Cameron Jordan is going to get the vote for New Orleans here. I know that Hendrickson has all the sacks. He has all the highlights. Bro, Cameron Jordan is that dude. I don't care. He gets the double teams. He is the man. Who else do we have? I heard Brian Burns has a lot of votes, so I'll let other people vote for him. I get it. He has a lot of strip sacks and stuff like that. I love Brian Burns. I loved him when he came out of the draft, but I'm not going to give him his vote right now. I'm going to give J.J. Watt a vote. You know why? Because J.J. is the only guy on his defensive line that does anything. And the guy still makes spectacular plays, from forced fumbles to multiple pass deflections, interceptions for touchdowns. The guy recently has been one of the best in the game at the position. He started off a little rough, looking a little old, but I think he's got it back together. J.J. Watt deserves to go to the Pro Bowl. Defensive tackle position, Aaron Donald. I don't know if you heard, but Aaron Donald's pretty good at football, and he's leading this position by 4 in sacks with 10. Leonard Williams, no fluke, he has 6 sacks. He is a beast, bro, especially this year. Leonard Williams is the heart, the soul, and the beast on that Giants defensive line. I think he's a huge reason the Giants have seen a resurgence on their defense this year. Fletcher Cox is still an animal. His ability to sniff out the run plays, diagnose it quickly, and then just overpower people. He's also extremely quick for his size, and he's still at the top of his game, in my opinion. I'm going to give a vote to Chris Jones. I get it. He's been hurt on and off, but he still has 5.5 sacks. When he plays, he's probably the second best pass rusher at this position, so I will give him a vote. Akeem Hicks, his ability to dominate and bully opposing offensive linemen. The Chicago defense has been pretty darn good. The offense stinks, but the defense is great. The only reason they are in games week in and week out, and Hicks is a huge part of that. So I'm going to say Hicks gets a vote for me. And my final vote will go to DeForest Buckner. Wow, this is a stacked position. I left guys off like Hayward, Jarrett, Calais Campbell, Simmons is having a great year. Quinnen Williams is having a great year, but DeForest Buckner has made all the difference for that Colts defense. He definitely deserves a vote. Inside linebacker. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in terms of inside linebacker, outside linebacker, because depending on scheme, there could be a little bit of difference between these two positions in the Pro Bowl voting. Devin White, I am going to give a vote to. He has been all over the place week in, week out for the Bucs, but the better guy in Tampa is Levante David. He's just smarter. He reads the game well. He diagnoses things so quickly. And the Bucs linebackers are the reason that defense is so good, because of their speed, because of their ability to track down players in space and just make freakish plays. My third vote is going to go to Demario Davis, who does everything in New Orleans from blitz to cover to stop the run. Then you have Darius Leonard, who is one of the better cover guys. We've seen his importance to the Colts when he's hurt. They haven't played as well defensively. He can blitz. He can stop the run. He can stop the pass. Fred Warner is arguably the best cover linebacker in football, and some would say the best, period. So he gets a vote. And my final vote for the linebacker position is going to go to, I'll give it to Roquan Smith. He's leading the league in tackles, although that doesn't mean much to me. I think he's been pretty good this year. He's shown his promise. He's shown his potential. I haven't always bought into him, but I think this year has made me a believer. So I'll give another Bear, a vote. The outside linebacker position, and this is kind of like the edge position here. Pro Bowl, just vote edge and linebacker. This is why we keep things simple on the bottom line view. It's a much more simple way to go about it. All right. There's edge, there's linebacker. There's no outside linebacker and defensive end. They're the same darn thing. All right. Linebacker is linebacker. Defensive end is defensive end. TJ Watt is the best man. His versatility, drop back in coverage, blitz, rush the passer, stop the run, making plays week in and week out. I can't vote for his teammate Bud Dupree because he's out for the year. I'm going to vote for Jason Pierre-Paul. He consistently comes up with forced fumbles, interceptions, plays behind the line in the run game. He has been disruptive week after week. Doesn't matter the matchup, really. He's been so good for Tampa Bay. Khalil Mack just bullies people week in, week out, dominant. Now, Zadarius Smith has 9 sacks. I don't think he's been anywhere near as good as he was last year. I think Zadarius Smith was much better last year, but he still might deserve a vote here. I'm taking a look. I'm going to go with Deion Jones. He is an example, all right, NFL, that he should be in the linebacker position because he is not an outside linebacker. He's not an edge rusher. He is a linebacker. Deion Jones can cover with the best of them. He's been back. He's been healthy. He's been a big part of Atlanta, picking up some wins down the stretch here. 3.5 sacks, speaks to his versatility. He can rush the passer if need be, but he is more so of that second level speed, coverage, and ability to defend that run game. So he's in there. I'm going to go with, damn, this is tough. Shaq Barrett, potentially. I don't really see anybody that jumps out at me, to be honest. I'm going to say Bradley Chubb. I think this season has shown you that he can be a truly elite player. He didn't have Von Miller all year to take the pressure off of him. He was coming off an injury himself, and immediately, maybe it took a little bit of time, but he's shown how dominant he can be. Zadarius Smith is going to get my final vote. I get it. He's not been as good as last year, but 9 sacks speaks for itself. He's still a great pass rusher. He is streaky. He does put up dominant performances. You know what? That's kind of making me feel like I shouldn't vote for him. I love Zadarius Smith, though. It hurts me to say that. I don't want to. It hurts me. Who else do I vote for, though? I guess Zadarius, bro. 9 sacks. And the versatility he offers, you know what? Just give it to him. The cornerback position, this one's tough because I do think corner is pretty strong too. I'm going to go with J.C. Jackson right off the top. 6 picks this year. He's been the number one corner for New England for most of the year until Gilmore came back from injury. Remember, Gilmore was out for a lot of the year. That's why I won't vote for him here. I'm going to vote instead for Xavier Howard as well, who leads the NFL with 7 interceptions and has been really physical, in the face, man-to-man cover guy, really impressive. Carlton Davis is borderline. Bradbury is borderline. Let's keep going down the list and checking out who I could add here. I'm going to go with Jair Alexander. He's been really, really good this year. Number one receivers, taking him out of games. He doesn't really have the interceptions or the numbers that pop out at you, but if you watch the Packers game any given week, he's shutting people down consistently. Denzel Ward is going to get another vote. Same thing with Alexander. Like, both are excellent man-to-man cover corners who have the speed and have the ability to hang with the best receivers in the game on an island one-on-one. And those are the guys that I value the most. Obviously, Gilmore is one of the best corners, but I'm not going to give him the vote this year. Marlon Humphrey, he to me is maybe the most versatile DB in the NFL. His ability to play outside and inside at an equal level is very, very rare. You have Marshawn Lattimore there, but you have to give Jalen Ramsey the final vote. He's arguably the defensive player of the year this year, so I'm giving him a vote. Strong safety. We have 4 votes here, or 6 votes. 6 votes once again. Eddie Jackson is getting a vote. He's a ball hawk. He's a playmaker. Certainly deserves to be in that conversation. My second vote's going to go to Budda Baker. His ability to make plays in the run game specifically and fly around and make plays for Arizona has been massive. Their defense has been better. I think a lot of that has to do with Budda Baker. Tyrann Mathieu might be, just like Marlon Humphrey, one of the more versatile DBs in the league. But I think Tyrann Mathieu is arguably the most valuable safety in the NFL, because he makes everyone around him better in man, in zone, in the run game, in his leadership abilities. He deserves it. Harrison Smith is an awesome player still, despite the secondary struggling this year somewhat. He's been really good. Jamal Adams is just a special, different player. He is a defensive weapon. He is a pass rusher. He is a run stuffer. He can cover people. He is the best safety in the league, probably. And then my final vote is going to go to maybe Fuller here. I like what Whitehead has been doing. I think Jabril Peppers is solid. I think Adrian Phillips is pretty good. My final vote is going to go to Kareem Jackson. Kareem Jackson is just, I think, deserves generally more attention. Should it be Kareem Jackson or Poyer? That's tough. I like a lot of these guys. That's tough. But I'm going to say Kareem Jackson does deserve more recognition, so I'm going to give it to him. And the free safety position, we're going to go with Justin Simmons, the teammate of Kareem Jackson. His ability in coverage in the run game is spectacular. Man, zone, ball hawking people. He is a special hybrid weapon at the safety position. I love him in that Fangio defense. I think you could argue Jesse Bates has been the best free safety in the NFL this year for his ability to hawk the ball down, make a play on the ball, whether that's a hit, a pick, a deflection, whatever it is. Minka deserves his recognition for the turnovers he's able to create, the big plays he is able to create. John Johnson has been a fundamental piece to the resurgence of the Rams secondary, and that secondary has been so good. It deserves more recognition. Johnson has been absolutely massive to that. Devin McCourty is still one of the game's best safeties in the NFL, especially as a deep, true free safety. He is unmatched in his intelligence for the game, his ability to read routes, his ability to get people in the right positions back there. He is a captain. He is a leader. He is a patriot. Antoine Winfield Jr. might be Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he's not getting my vote. I don't think Kevin Byard this year really deserves a vote, to be honest. Justin Reed, possibly. But I'm going to go with Ward. I think Ward has been slept on this year. I think his ability to maintain the secondary at a high level for the 49ers without Sherman there for a lot of that time, and I understand he's dealt with his own injuries as well, but when he's been on the field, he's been a huge difference maker for them in the pass and in the run game. So I like him as one of my free safeties going to the Pro Bowl. Now, let's not spend much time on the special teams. For the kicker position, I think you have to say Justin Tucker each and every year. The guy is absolutely godly, and I'm just going to keep skipping it. I mean, I'm going to go with Justin Tucker. That's it. Long snapper, bro. I don't really even care. Let's just give some love to a team that I haven't given any love to yet. I think I haven't given any love to Jacksonville, so let's give Jacksonville a vote at long snapper. Punter, I will go with Johnny Hekker. He is the best punter in the league. Return specialist, I like a few guys here. I think Cordell Patterson leads the way this season. I think Roberts is also awesome. I think Wilson is awesome. And I think Harris is great. So those guys all deserve a vote from me. And then for special teams, we need to keep the streak alive. Matthew Slater is getting my vote. He is a Hall of Famer. There is a reason for that. I think I voted for every position 6 times. Just double checking my corners. Yes, I got everybody I believe that I wanted. You know what? Howard doesn't deserve the vote. I think his teammate deserves the vote. Byron Jones, bro, give it to him. Byron Jones, to me, is the true number 1 corner in Miami. You can at me if you like. All right, those are my Pro Bowl selections for 2020, guys. I hope you enjoyed my Pro Bowl ballot. If you did, remember, do Gronk spike that like button. I guess I'll have to log in to actually submit the vote here. Let me log in real quick. Make sure you Gronk spike that like button and do subscribe to the channel for more NFL just like this. Yes, my username is the same as my PSN, Patsman1281, but I want to make sure that you guys see that I did give the ballot and I did post the ballot and I did submit it. So here we go. Submitting the ballot. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Submit it. There we go. Thank you for your vote. There is my vote for the 2021 NFL Pro Bowl. If you enjoyed, don't forget to Gronk spike that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Make sure you vote for the Pro Bowl. Remember, guys, it is important. Remember, your kids 20 years from now, they're going to be looking at who made the Pro Bowl. And you can tell them I voted for that Pro Bowl. Peace.